All right, y'all. What's going on? Back with another live. Back with some post fight talk here. UFC Des Moines, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Overall, once again, man, I thought we had some good WMA action, man. I thought the women's fights delivered. No, of course, we've seen some better ones, but I thought that for the most part, as a whole, we got some good action, and we got some questions answered here. I know the first fight. Um, it was a scrappy fight, and when you look at the levels that they're on, that's how I was really gauging it, anyways, because I know that Juliana Miller been out for a minute, and like I said, I never really thought that highly of Petrovic's skills, being signed so fast to the UFC. So I was just kind of like, I'm gonna take it for what it is, and that's what kind of fight it turned out to be. I wasn't really 100% on my pick, but if I had to pick, I was leaning towards Petrovic in this one, just kind of based off her activity. I thought that she was more of the active fighter, and she would have been in here a little bit fresher, right? But I got to give Juju some credit, man, because that's one of the things I almost kind of forgot about Juju, man. Juju still was bringing that toughness, and that's the one thing I remember, like even in some of her Invicta FC fights, in her Tough House fights, that's what kept her afloat. Is Juju is she's a tough girl. She'll come in there and scrap. Even whenever she's outgunned, she's going to keep trying. She's going to keep trying. Even in that fight with Veronica Hardy, she kept trying. She just didn't have the technique. And usually that's how you have to take care of a fighter like Juliana Miller. You got to come in there and outskill her and just counter her and outwork her. But she's a hard worker in there too. And that's what Petrovic wasn't ready for. I think Ivana Petrovic, I think she was looking to maybe think she could control with her stand-up game, but she found it kind of hard to whenever the pace was pushed. Even then, like, that's something that I've been saying about Petrovic. Like, I like her ground game, but even then, that wasn't even like a big factor. It wasn't even like something she could adjust to, So overall, she didn't really have a good solid weapon herself. Petrovic, okay, longer, taller, but what is that if you don't know how to use the reach? She didn't know how to use her reach in this fight, so she suffered for it. I think she landed more. I think she definitely landed more, and that's why Juju was forced to grapple here. But she was never really getting the respect of Juju. So Juju didn't really have an issue of wading her way in and taking the fight on the inside, because the counterpunching of Petrovic was non-existent. She was throwing her left hand for a little bit, but after that, whenever the minutes went on and then she went into that second round, it was like she was having trouble pushing her punches, So, I think that Petrovic on both sides needs work, and that's why I said when she took that contract, or, everybody's going to take their contract. Everybody's going to get that contract whenever it's thrown at them. I just didn't see her. I just didn't see her as being ready. And yeah, this fight kind of proves it, because now she was in here with somebody that was dogging, a mauler. I didn't see it. I was just like, okay, I don't see her making it that far here. So who was that asked the other day? Is this a fight where anybody could get cut if they were to lose? Shoot, I don't know, man. Now I see this from Petrovic. I mean, if I see her lose like this, she could be one too that I would be like, hey, if she got cut, I wouldn't be mad, because she could go back and get some work in too. I just didn't think she was looking like any type of a threat even before I seen her. What's up, Paul? Yeah, BJ said Juju cracked her a couple of times. Yeah, Juju hit her a couple of times, but really Juju, her main weapon was her clinch game and her ground game too. Like Juju's stand-up game, let's talk about that too. Juju's stand-up game too wasn't anything to brag about here. Like I said, Juju's game really came down to her will and her grit and just her strength and ground game here. That's where she really succeeded. Like, again, Juju looked longer to me than Petrovic, but she struggled to land some clean shots too. I mean, it wasn't really till like the third round where you saw her let them high kicks go, and she went for that high head kick. And had she maybe tried to set those up earlier off of her, I'm talking about that jab, maybe we would have seen something. But other than that, like Juju too, she was throwing a lot of air shots, and I'm like, come on, girls, y'all are this long, and y'all are pushing y'all's punches. Both of them had molasses under their armpits. That's what I'm saying. Look, both of them had some honey or molasses stuck up under them armpits because them shots were slow. Both shots were slow from both of these fighters. I mean, there was action, all right, but as far as like the striking on both sides, they were pushing their punches. Second round, Petrovic, she looked kind of gassed. Like I thought she was playing possum, but when she would push that 1-2, she looked like she was about to kind of fall over. So yeah, boxing, their strength and conditioning really needs to be worked on there. And you would think that being grapplers and wrestlers that they would have better gas tanks here, but it's a different world on both sides, man. It's a different world, man. So um that's just what I really need to see. Juju kind of tighten up her stand-up game too, man, because she just didn't really seem like she was confident until that opening came in, and that's where she would take the fight to the ground. But Petrovic, man, like her ground game is in question too now. I'm like, okay, what is she doing? But then again, you see Jamie Linhorth almost submit her. Jamie Linhorth almost submitted her a couple of times. And I brought that up. That's why I was like, I don't know. I just don't know with this one. But other than that, I mean, it was a good scrap, like Invicta level scrap. So I'm not one here to say, okay, I can decide who's going to be champion out of this fight or top 5 fighter out of this fight. You know, it wasn't about that because Juju been out for what, about 2 years. It was more so just to see how she's doing, how her body is, and everything like that. So let her come back in and do her thing, and that's how I gauged the fight. And you know, to me, it was fine. It was fine as an unranked level fight. You know, so I don't understand when people say it was a bad fight or a boring fight. To me, it was an okay grappling scrap. You know, so good with me. You know, but I just think that Juju needs to keep doing what she's doing, stay tight, get back with Pena, get back with Pena. I'm gonna keep saying that till she get back with you know, somebody that's aggressive like her and can bring out the best in her. You know, get that heart back into a place where she can go in there and just really push that grit on girls and force it on them and get that jab right, man. Get that long jab right, you know, where she can come forward a little bit more and be confident in her stand up. Because these girls too big to be fighting tiny, man. They too big to be fighting like they scared like that, you know, to fully engage with their strikes. You know, when you see somebody like Dakota, I'm seeing it with Dakota, man. Like you got to go in there and push and use that big that size. You know, can't just be in there trying to run here. You know, so I just need to see a little bit more work on her side. Petrovic as well, man. Both ground and stand up with her. Okay, Paul said I sent a few pictures from Des Moines. I ran into Killer Miller and got a picture, and I sent you a few of the Jillian Marina fight. Okay. BJ said at this level, don't go deep into the grappling with Juju, beat Juju on the feet. Right, exactly. Like, yeah, because that's her main go-to. You know, if it's not gonna be like just technical grappling, like she's gonna go in there and out strength you. You know, she'll kind of fight through the fire and she'll put that strength on you. So yeah. Okay, hold on. Paul said he put up some pictures here. So maybe by the end of the stream, we can get some pictures posted up here. Or let me see if we can get them up here now. You said Juju stand up. What's up, Axel? You said Juju stand up look better. All right, incoming pictures. Oh, well, look at Paul. Paul up here, always cheesing it up with the ladies. All right. That's what I need to start doing. I need to get from behind my screen and jump on here. That's one. All right, hold on. Okay, that's two. Sometimes this angle that you're sitting at, Paul, is better. Sometimes this angle is the best instead of being like fully cage side, because you know then you got to have that up angle where everybody is in front of you, you know, and heads are in front of you. But at the angle you're sitting at, that's usually a good view. All right. Okay, hang on, y'all. Yeah, Axel, that's what I'm saying. B just said Juju stand up stance looked better. It looked okay. It looked okay. I I don't I can't I couldn't gauge it. I could not gauge it. All right. I could not gauge her stand up is looking better. I think she looked not rusty. And as far as like toughness and strength, she didn't look gassed. She looked like she was well conditioned for the fight. This is why I give her credit for it. She was well conditioned. Her grappling and her strength were on point, and her heart was off the charts. I mean, that's why she was still emotional after the fight because she looked like she was ready to go some more. So she got full credit on that. Her stance, I don't know, because she kind of stumbled at one point. She kind of stumbled over herself at one point. I don't know if it was a kick that caused her to reset, but she kind of stumbled a little bit in one of those moments. So I was like, oh boy, her and Petrovic, they looked a little lethargic on the feet, man. I say molasses, man. They had molasses up under their feet, and when it came to the striking, that's all I'm saying. But I give Juju some credit, man. I give Juju some credit, man, because she's been out for so long. And really, she's still a green fighter. She's still a green fighter. She's just coming out of the tough house, winning that, but she hasn't really won any big fights. Getting the inside scoop and the ground coverage for CB99. Appreciate that, man. Give me 1 second, and I'm about to show y'all. We got the ground. We got a man on the ground floor here. I'm hooking it up right now for y'all because Paul went in and got some inside footage. I'm uploading them now. BJ said, but you was gauging Kareem's stand up. I know I was, and it needs work. Her stand up does need work. Her stand up needs work. Okay, so here we go. Got a picture. Oh man, hold on. It's the resolute. It's the yeah, not the resolution. Resolution, is what it is, but measurements here. This is the picture of Marina Rodriguez announcing her retirement. All right. I can fix it to make it look better, if I put it on another layout. But this will just show you something. Hey, something's better than nothing, Paul. I mean, as long as you got to enjoy the experience, that's all that matters, right? And there you go. Look at Jillian Robertson before she finished Marina Rodriguez. Okay, that is the picture of G-Rob. Is this the first round or the second round? Is this the beginning of the first round or the second round? Axel said, yeah, totally agree. Juju needs to work on her striking, use her size, improve her stance. Yeah, because between Petrovic and Juliana Miller, they like almost about the same size as like Dakota, So I'd say, hey, man, like start using that size. Don't be afraid to be on your feet. Okay, that is the picture there, just showing y'all that. And see, the top kind of got cut off, but y'all see, look at Paul up in here with Juliana Miller. Oh man, that's cool though, man. How was she, man? Like she seemed cool. It's always cool like that they out here taking pictures with fans. Juju is in the building, so good on Paul. He got another girlfriend, y'all. He got Barbara's number. Now he got Juju. Okay. Paul is in here. Look at Paul. Oh man, that's good stuff though, man. Where do you where did you catch her at? I assume you caught her coming into the venue, Paul. He said she was super nice. That's good. He said back called you. Man, BJ, he done got Barber and Juju's number. What you gonna do, man? And what you gonna do when he get Montana's number? What you gonna do when he get Montana's number? Oh, it would have been crushing if he got G-Rob, right? That would have been crushing if he got some G-Rob number. Yeah, but I assume, this is the venue she's coming out or going into when you caught him. Man, that's cool. That's cool. Shoot, I'd love to go down to the May 31st card, man, because then you got catch Macy and Aaron, catch Aaron, catch Aaron, and wish her some good luck on her main event, right? All right, but yeah, that's good news, man. Good news, man. Let's see. What's up? Close said, "What fight do you want? What fighter do you? Which fighter would I want to meet in person? Let me see. Fighter I'd meet. A fighter that I would really just like to meet. Let me see. From strawweights, I would like to meet Yan Xiaonan. Current fighters, I like to meet Yan Xiaonan and Tisha Torres probably. Because I've been watching Tisha Torres since since she started. So yeah, since Invicta FC started. I mean, that was like over a decade ago. Yeah, I think Tisha's one I'd like to meet because she's one that I could actually. Well, I've watched all of these fighters, but followed her history from when she first started to the Tough House to the UFC up to now. So yeah, probably Tisha Torres, Yan Xiaonan, Ebos, Ebos, yeah. Probably some of them. What about y'all? What about you, Closer? Who's a fighter you'd want to meet? All right, let me go back up here real quick because yeah, Axel said yeah, Juju is a very nice person. Okay, yeah, he said Juju's real nice. Okay, Closer said Juju versus Deontay Barbosa. Yeah, I wanted to mention that here next because yeah, that test now that Juliana Miller has been able to come back, look sharp, look good, and get ready to go, and just be showing that emotion. I like that in Juliana Miller. Shows that she's really not rusty and she's ready to get back in here. I think yeah, somebody like Deontay Barbosa would be a good test for her or the other girl, Carly Carly Giudice, Ernesta Karascatai, Deontay Barbosa, any of them three girls right there, because I think those three right there are some of the hardest girls as far as like durability, and that's going to see if Juju can kind of if she can crack that durability with her toughness. But Carly, she can crack though. Carly Giudice, she can crack. That's one Juju gonna have to beware of. That is one she'll have to beware of. I ain't gonna lie. She's a hard hitter. She just knocked that one girl out, Dubin. That I thought Dubin was gonna come in here and knock her out, but she did her thing in that fight. But yeah, Deontay Barbosa, I think stand up wise would be the safer girl. Deontay Barbosa, I think they would be. Well, actually, you know what? No. Deontay Barbosa got that jab, man. Deontay Barbosa might jab her up, BJ. She might jab Juju up. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, Closeman said he like to meet Alexia Tharnera. Yeah, she's a character, man. I think she would be cool. She's a character. Now that she up in the UFC too, I think that she seemed like she would be all right. With Tharnera and Ebos, catch them both together, they probably crazy. That's a party to be at. When Tharnera and Ebos are in the same party, oh boy, and they teammates too. Come on, that's a party right there. He said, "Yeah, Tharnera must be fun in a party." Yeah, and she is, and then you got Ebos in there too. Shoot, Ebos. Oh yeah, Suarez is another one. Yeah, Suarez is another fighter. Yeah, I'd like to actually meet. Yeah, but yeah, this was a good one though. This was a good scrap. Good, like I said, Invictus FC level fight, and I hope to see Juju come back in here, one more time this. Let me see if she could do two more fights this year. That would be interesting. That would be good. But if not, I like to see her come back this summer, maybe like August or September, because it's April. No, it's May now, right? Maybe she can come back in another 3 to 4 months, as long as no injuries are there, right? All right. All right, man. Really, this here was the shiner of all the WMMA fights, right? This one here was the big shiner, even though it didn't headline, Yana Santos and Misha Tate headline. But to me, this was the standout fight here. Even if I'm the Marina fan, I want to see good things for the strawweight division. And Jillian Robertson, she delivered, man. She came in here and she did what she needed to do. And that's what I wanted to see too, man. Like, I didn't want to see anybody just, talk a big game, fight to a certain level, and then go flat. Like, Jillian's been really grinding. And that's one thing about her. I really can't. You never hear me take anything away from her when it comes to her grind, but I just want to see some technique improvements. And she's been doing that now. But the way she's put this thing together as of lately, and I know BJ earlier on his live, he was trying to reverse it, talking about strikers need to grapple. Well, shoot, grapplers need to strike. Okay. That's why we need to be well-rounded fighters up in here, right? And that's why you saw Jillian Robertson landing better punches, right? Because if she didn't learn how to strike, she wouldn't have won this fight. Jillian had a nice entry because I'm gonna keep bringing this up. You didn't see that? I hope you saw that, BJ. Like, even I saw that. You saw how Jillian was jabbing to the body, right? Yeah. That's how she was getting in there. She was jabbing to the body and she was hitting Marina with the right hand too. Like, not a lot of power, but it was enough connection to kind of throw Marina off. So I was looking at that. I was like, okay, see, her striking improved. And that's why she was in there that's why she was able to get the fight where she was supposed to get it. Okay. That's why she was able to get it where she was supposed to get it. You said, but the strikers that can't grapple look worse. Well, let me see. I don't know. I can't really say that, man. I can't really say that because Shannon Clark, the young girl, fighting in the Contender Series, she's a huge grappler and strong as I don't know what, but she knocked out in one round. She got knocked out in one round. I think it really just depends on the fighter. I think it really depends on the fighter because, I've seen some girls and men, wrestlers. Yeah, okay, if you can get a takedown, you can, but y'all can get knocked out too. Because, we go back to her early career, right? Like you said yourself, only Barbara could do what she did, right, against G-Rob. Why? Because she had the power in the hands early. So I'm just saying. But Marina, she just always been that special case, man. Like, she always been that special case. Like, why do you never see like her grappling like that? Like, even like when they post training videos and things like that, like, you even see, like I said, you never really see that Joanna either. Like, Marina, Joanna, you never really seen that, but Manon, you see that. That's why people are going to try. They will be in for a surprise. Like, when Manon takes Valentino on, you will be in for a surprise. Like, even whenever she was taking down like Jennifer Meyer Buena Silva just to show that she could do it, you will be in for a surprise with that. But like, Manon behind the scenes, you see her rolling. You see her. She earned her brown belt. She earned her brown belt. She's working on grappling and things like that. She's not just solely a striker in there. She chooses to stand up. But when you go and look at fighters like Joanna, you never really see them doing that. You never really see them doing that. Marina Rodriguez, like, I never seen her geared up before. Like, I'm just saying, like, I never seen Marina Rodriguez geared up and, in there, with some different grappling coaches or working on her jiu-jitsu. I just never seen that. But if you weren't going to do that, were you going to have like great takedown defense? At least Joanna had great takedown defense in her prime. At least Joanna had that. That's why I just, as a fan, it was just more of a fan pick, but I just couldn't say, I just really honestly couldn't see her going in there and picking Jillian apart at this point. Because everything Dean Thomas is, teaching her now is really sticking. All of this is really starting to stick now. So I think Jillian understands now that what he's teaching her, she's able to apply it. It's the division that she's in now. I think her body is a lot more comfortable too. So now you see her trying new things out and being more confident in what she's doing. So yeah, Jillian gets full credit. And another number one thing I do like about Jillian too is like I said, she's just not a lay him down type of fighter, man. Like so many fighters want to get takedowns and just lay on people. Like no, like you only get that from special fighters that want to go in there and finish, like Weili, Kayla Harrison, and Jillian Robertson. And if people knock Jillian Robertson's finishing skills or stats or whatever, I mean, hey, it's still 10 finishes. She still finished 10 girls. Don't matter who it is. That's still a record. 10 finishes. 10 for Amanda, 10 for Jillian, and 9 for Jessica Andrade. So that still shows you there's a level of finish in her. But as she gets better now, she's going to carry it up here because she's going in there and she's breaking them down on the ground. Like, I know, look, some of these people, what's the dude's name of the week, man? Like, what's that undefeated wrestler's name? Everybody booed him. He's real big guy. He was fighting the guy from the Contender Series. Kind of a brown-skinned guy, bald, really muscular. He's a wrestler. He's undefeated right now. He came in there picking old dude. He came in there just picking dude up like he was carrying him around, and he dropped him and wrestling. But he wasn't never ground and pound. He was never landing any ground and pound. Yeah, Finney. There you go, Paul. Yeah, not Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel got finished yesterday. But this is we talking about Torres Finney, the football player, right? Football player. 11-0, strong, real big, strong guy. Kept picking the guy up and putting him down, but he wasn't throwing any elbows. He wasn't throwing any punches with his free hand. He wasn't landing any strikes. So it was really hard to see. It's really hard to watch a fight like that when you just letting the opportunity go to get the finish. At least fighters like this, okay, Jillian, she going in there finishing them. So if she carries that into the top 10, she'll be a problem. She will be a problem. But girls like Marina, man, I think she's making the right choice. Marina's doing the right thing to retire, 38 years old, not really looking to evolve. And you never really heard her say anything like that behind the scenes. You never really heard her say anything like that behind the scenes anyway. What's up, Running Rini? And Closum said, did you get a video of the Jillian fight, Paul? Did you get any video of it? Yeah, Bo Nickel. I mean, I didn't have no problem with Bo Nickel, but he just got tested and he failed. But that's all right. You're gonna learn from it. You can't really go into MMA undefeated, but for so long, right? Even if if you're coming in with one skill. Oh no, that's all right, Paul. Just in case Running Rini missed it, we got Paul in here. Paul sent me this picture. He got a picture with no longer BJ's girl now. It's Paul's girl now. I'm gonna rub it in again, BJ. Here you go. Since Running Rini missed it. Yeah, they did, BJ. Just like they always underestimate Marab, even though Marab is the champion. We just said she's trying to go down in history as one of the best grapplers to ever do it. I see what you mean. Yeah, like she wants to go down as that grappler, known strictly for being a grappler and being able to take it all the way there. Closum said, who do you think would win the scrambles between Jillian and Dern? Ooh, man. Oh, man. Wow. Who would win the scrambles there, man? Dern in her last BJJ outing, I have to go back and look at that. Didn't look that good. But that girl Davies, she is strong, though. Jillian just seems so fit right now and quick. Dern is going to welcome this type of fight, but Jillian just seems so quick and lean at this weight. Man, I'm gonna say I'm gonna I'm gonna say it's 51-45 for Jillian. Is that right? Yeah, I was about to say 65-45. No, 51-49. Yeah. Yeah, 51-49. I kind of lean towards Jillian just because of her movement right now and how she controls. And Jillian been fighting at flyweight too. Jillian's been fighting at flyweight. Like Jillian's been able to, I'll say, Jillian's been able to fend off some stronger grapplers like Tyler Santos and Miranda Maverick. Even though she lost to them, she was able to fend them off and make it all the way to the end. So if you try to go to the ground with her, yeah, I think I'm a favor. I gotta see where Dern is at. Her mindset been wanting to strike so much lately. I think Jillian's been spending more time on the ground, and I don't want to just be overhyping Jillian right now, but I think that Jillian might be an issue there. I think Dern might want to strike in that fight a little bit, just like she did against Verna. Gary said, "Don't worry, Bo Nickel will get a title shot in 7 months max. Greatest MMA wrestler of all time." Ooh, if he gets a title shot in 7 months, I mean, by Christmas time, he's gonna have to at least win 2 more good fights, which is gonna take up the rest of this year. We ain't talking no title shot for Bo Nickel until 2026 around this time, and that's if he goes in there killing his next 3-4 opponents, right? Brian said he just got finished. Exactly. No, Brian, BJ. Gary said Jillian lost to Ricci. He said, I can't trust her. Let's watch that. We got to watch that fight again sometime. We got to watch that fight again sometime. I'm going to have to do a round by round because how bad was that loss? Because Ricci, Styles make fights. Styles make fights. Yeah. I don't know. I have to watch that fight again. Okay. Moving on for Jillian. Oh, yeah. I saw that BJ. Shout out to BJ. BJ sent me that little interview from Fight Bananas. Speaking of their interview, BJ, man, you might as well go ahead and get that interview and talk about that Angela Hill thing with Jillian, man. Go ahead and get her back on the show, man. Yeah, speaking of Jillian Robertson, Jillian Robertson was asked about Angela Hill because Angela Hill was, I guess, calling her out again. And Angela tried to say Jillian avoided her. What was the fight? Like a fight on 8 days notice? And Jillian was like, I can't make that weight, on 8 days notice. And she said that in no way was she ducking her. Why would Jillian be ducking Angela at this point? That was a fight that she wanted at one time. But like she said, she's not trying to do that fight now because I've already surpassed you. She was like, that fight really don't make any sense, which it don't make any sense for her now. Jillian is probably going to be number 9 by Tuesday. Yeah, let's go ahead and say Jillian Robertson's in the top 10, right? Jillian's already in the top 10. Angela Hill is number 13. So with that being said, yeah, that's not really a fight that has any worth now. There's more that's more risk and less reward for Jillian Robertson to take that step back fight now. No, like why take that when there's plenty of open fighters right now that are ranked above you that can get you what you need. Shoot, Ebos ain't even got a fight right now, So Ebos is open. Dern is open, but she called for a higher number. She called for Lemos. And when she called for Lemos, I was like, oh yeah, that's what's up. So she's calling for the right fighters. And I think that that's what her and her team been looking at. They was like, all right, if we get by Marina, next we're gonna fight the girl that beat Marina. Okay. It's another powerful stand-up fighter, but with your ground game and your striking IQ, from what you learned, you should be able to know what's coming. You should be able to know what's coming and what this girl is capable of. So that's a fight that Jillian could actually win. So she's moving right. They're moving right. They're lining up the right fights here. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, Jillian Robertson versus Amanda Lemos. Like, what do y'all think about that fight? Just as an early look, like maybe we'll talk about that in the video later. But um, what kind of a show do you think Robertson puts on in that one? Because sometimes Lemos, she ain't no jabber either, man. Lemos ain't no jabber either. Y'all hear me complaining about her not throwing a jab, and if she ain't throwing a jab, Jillian should be able to time her right hand and get her down. Jillian's a lot more active on the ground, still young. It's another older fighter that she'd be taking on. So no excuses there. Like early pick, what do y'all think, man? Lemos versus Robertson. I know BJ's sub in round 2. He said after she get the feel out in round 1, she gonna take her out, right? So I think that's a good matchup. I think that's a good matchup that she's shooting for. So yeah, as for Marina, like I said, Marina Rodriguez, she's had her day. I remember her time when she did win like 4 in a row. And I know there came a time where there could have been a title shot lined up, but they didn't really like line it up for her in a fair way. So then they throw that 5th fight at Amanda Lemos. And from there, man, it's just been downhill, man. It's just been downhill, from Lemos to Virna. Then she wins against Waterson. Then she loses to Andrade, Yasmin Lucindo, and now Jillian Robertson, right? But she's had some good fights throughout her career, man. She's fought girls like Tisha. That first fight with Waterson was a good fight. That Ebos finish, beating Mackenzie Dern. And she did that fight well. She was able to keep that fighter on her feet well. Like, and that just shows you, man, like how far she's changed since then. When she fought Mackenzie Dern to now Jillian, like Mackenzie Dern got her down at 1 round, but the rest of those rounds she was able to control with her striking. Won it like 4 rounds to 1. But now, as of lately, she's just been kind of accepting to these takedowns, and that's been it. Yeah, looking at her overall resume, let's say she got a lot of finishes on the feet. Actually got 1 submission. She's got 1 triangle choke on her submission resume early. And, win over Natalia Silva about 8 years ago, about 7 years ago. I remember Marina fought Natalia Silva like a long time ago, back in 2017, before she fought on the Contender Series. Yep. So, yeah, had a couple of draws on her resume too, right? Let's see, Calvillo and Marcos. That close loss to Carla Esparza. And you know what? Those are the fights early in Marina Rodriguez's career where you could already see that she was lacking a ground game because Randa, Calvillo, they were all taking her down, right? They all kept taking her down, and I was like, uh-oh, this might be a problem. And she's never grown from there. She never grew from there. But wishing her the best in her retirement, man. All right. So real quick, Gary Baldwin said Jillian didn't call out Tatiana, who knows she can't. She knows she can't beat another grappler. Paul said Jillian calling her out tells me that her and her team have already done their homework and found a path to victory, a hole in her game they could take advantage of. Right. Yeah. That's what they've been looking at. It was like, you know what? We ain't gonna look at this type of fighter. We're gonna look at the stand-up fighter, right? Close from said Lucindo, Lemos, Lupi would all get drowned by Jillian at this point. Yeah, Lupi. Yeah, that's not even a fight I wouldn't even put up against Jillian right now. Yeah, Lemos will be the test though. He said Jan Janan is drowning too. Yeah, Jan Janan, man, that last fight. Jan, man, like she got to do something, man. Like she's got like same thing, same hang up. They spend so much time on the feet, like you don't really see, and she's big, man, like she's strong. Like they just don't know how to translate that takedown defense, man. Like, I don't know. Fish out of water, yep. But you see, man, like Wei Lee, man, she's she does it all now. She can fight on land or she can fight in the water, man. Yep. Okay. Yana Santos. She survived that scare, man, against Misha Tate. Look, man, that was crazy, man. Like Misha Tate, man. Like I didn't think she was gonna try to. I didn't think she was gonna be able to pull off some type of upset. Like I mean, she didn't, but she was trying, man. Like, did you see that? She was really trying. Like Misha Tate. That's one thing I'll never stop. I'll never take away from Misha. Misha won't just come to collect a paycheck. Look, Misha Tate just won't come to collect a paycheck. She gonna come to fight. Like, even if she lacking some skills, she won't stop coming. She will not stop coming. And that first round, she was coming in there, man. Like she was just trying to wade her way in and maybe see what her strikes was able to do against Yana, connecting a few shots. But whenever Yana got into a groove and started putting together those leg kicks and jabs, Misha Tate had to kind of respect it. She had to slow it down. But even then, Misha was still trying to find that entry, man. But Yana's strong, man. Like those first two rounds were really tough to try to get Yana down because Yana's a ground fighter too. She can get her fights to the ground, but Yana really has been working on that stand-up game, and now is using her strength, wisely in there. It's really translating in her takedown defense, and she was controlling Misha. Misha was really struggling, man. You could see it in there. Like she was struggling to try to get her down. Like she could tell how strong Yana was. So every time those clinches wouldn't work, Yana would be able to control her, crack her with that elbow and right hand and get back to the center, and that's where she spent most of the fight. And that was the wise part of, the first two rounds, she banged them out, solid wins. But that third round, man, when she stopped throwing leg kicks, did you see like the reaction too, man? Like, did you see like Yana's leg kicks? Those things were kind of powerful, man, because it was like Misha Tate, every time she kept eating them, man, they would kind of wobble her or, kind of shake her up, Like every time she would eat those shots, like it was either because she was just off balance with them but she was eating them little leg kicks. You could hear some of them things, man. And even like her body kicks, like when she's hitting her, she taking them shots, Misha kind of wobbles a little bit. And then she's still eating this jab, this solid jab. So Misha's getting broken down in there, but she ain't never quit. I thought we were going to see a 30-27, but Yana got tired, I guess, man. Like, Yana must got tired of fending her off, man, because she stopped kicking. And when Misha went in for that last one, Misha just took the last round, with just a clear dominant round, on her back. I mean, good submission defense from Yana, but had that been maybe a 5-round fight, hey, that tells you something. But 5 rounds is different, right? 3 rounds, the urgency was different. We know Misha Tate felt that urgency. That's why she was fighting like that. But yeah, she made it interesting. Misha made it interesting by trying to, pull off that old Holly Holm upset. It wasn't there. But yeah, 2 rounds to 1, man. I thought Yana banged it out, put on a striking clinic. Yeah, Misha's striking is still that's still her handicap, man. I still don't see Misha Tate's striking game being that type of thing, man. Like her striking game, she tried to double jab her way in, but Misha just couldn't cut off the cage. She just could not cut off the cage. I like that jab from Yana. Maybe had she doubled it up a few more times and followed up with the right, she probably could have dropped Misha early. Maybe if she stuck those leg kicks out, she probably could have got a finish in the third, and she probably wouldn't have got taken down because she did well in the first 2 rounds, stuffed all the takedowns, all 4 attempts. But that last one, Misha was trying to make it count. She was trying to make it count. So, yeah, it was a good fight, though. Good fight. Good action from Yana Santos. Yeah, now that she's won this fight, who could we line up for? Let's see, who can we line up for Yana Santos now? Because Yana was already ranked over Misha Tate, right? Misha Tate was number 12. She'll probably drop now. Yana's probably going to stay at number 10. a rematch against Irene Aldana. No, Irene Aldana. Mayra Buena Silva's trying to get that fight with Irene Aldana bad, man. Well, if Yana Santos beats Misha like this, yeah, there's Eileen Perez. Let me see. There's Eileen Perez. Eileen Perez is trying to avoid the Nora Cronoa fight for the same reason, like, Jillian don't want to fight Angela Hill. I mean, she's high ranked now, right? Eileen Perez is number 8 now, right? So fighting somebody 5 spaces down after you beat like 4 or 5 people don't really make sense, right? So let's see. Yana has 2 wins in a row. So maybe if Yana could fight that fight against Perez, or the winner of Macy Chiasson and Ketlin Vieira, or the loser of that fight, that could happen. And you got Jacqueline Cavalcanti at number 11. So yeah, that's always a fight to revisit. I was saying, Yana Santos versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. That's a good one. But we'll see. Okay. All right, let me go back up here. Comments. Colstrom said, off subject, but what is your thoughts on Fatima Klein fighting Melissa Martinez? I think she could at least be fighting someone like Sam Hughes or Pierre Rodriguez. Yeah, I think she could be fighting either one of them too. Maybe that was like the only fight that was available. I'll take it. I'll just take it as a stay busy fight for Fatima Klein and to kind of put her on the map. Melissa Martinez is a small strawweight too, so I really just seeing her striking being her only weapon in that fight. But Fatima Klein, her striking is a problem. But yeah, some of those names should be available. I know Sam just had a fight, but yeah, Pierre Rodriguez should be available. I would like to see her in a fight like that, or even Julia Polastri. Yeah, like I said, I'll take it. I'll take it just to see her put herself on the map there. Yana Eileen Perez. Yana was just too big. Yeah, Yana too big. Well, they were about the same height though, right? They actually listed them as the same height. I can't say Yana's just too big. I don't know, BJ. Didn't you say Misha would probably be able to get her down? Like, I ain't gonna make that. I don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to hear that for no excuses, man. No Eileen Perez versus Nora Cronoa. No, Eileen Perez don't want that fight. She said, I'm not fighting somebody that low. Yeah, Gary said Tate still doesn't know how to strike. Yeah, that's still her hang up, man. That's still her hang up, coming in there head first. That takedown and rear naked isn't always going to come, It's just at 38, yeah, it's not going to be her thing. Like Marina's ground game is not going to be her thing. It's never going to be something she picks up. Same thing with Misha Tate. Her striking is not. Her striking is not. Yeah, Misha's grappling isn't even that dominant. Learn some striking. Yeah, at 38, she's not going to. I don't think she is. Can't get Marina to, learn some ground games and some scrambles. Nah. What's going on, Marcus? What's up? Yeah, Cavalcanti and Yana Santos, that would be a good striking matchup there. I think Cavalcanti's definitely got the IQ. She's got her own striking arsenal. She'd have to be careful of the leg kicks of Yana, though, because I know Cavalcanti likes to come in a little, I won't say flat-footed, but she'll eat some leg kicks. And Yana's leg kicks, man, things like baseball bats. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Yana need to fight like this all the time. She need to fight like this first 2 rounds of this fight all the time. Like, she need to fight big and dominant all the time like this. Because even in this fight, she let Misha off the hook at sometimes. She didn't fully crack Misha like she could have, and put Misha on the back foot. Kept letting her come in there until she got her down in that 3rd round. Let me see. Yeah. Melissa Martinez is kind of small, man. Like, she's kind of small for the division. They have some atom weights, man. Go ahead and make that happen, man. But that's not. I don't see her being a huge problem for Fatima Klein, man. All right, y'all. So yeah, here we are, man. We got a fight weekend done, and we're gonna have another one coming up. This one is the major one, y'all. 315. I know I'm gonna have to get in a couple of shows this week. It's my busy week too, man. I'm gonna be really busy. I won't say really busy, like more busy than normal, but one of my busy times a week. So I'm gonna try to squeeze it in maybe Tuesday. I know Wednesday and Thursday I'll be wide open, but I gotta get some more talk in, man, because we got Jasmine and Jessica, Natalia and Alexa, Valentina and Manon. It's going down, man. This time be flying. It's crazy. Sabrina de Souza, keep that name in your minds. The next big flyweight. Is she the one that just won this weekend? Did she just win this weekend, Gary? I think I saw her on IG. Sabrina de. I think I might have stumbled across some highlights. Let me see. Let me see. May 2nd says she fought May 2nd. Yeah, that might be the girl. Oh yeah, she was an undefeated man. She was an undefeated amateur too. Let me see. She got a win over Michelle Montague in amateurs too. Oh, okay. 2 times. Yeah, I might have saw her on Instagram. Yeah, okay, I did. Okay. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on her. I'm gonna keep an eye on her. Axel said, have you watched the countdown for UFC 315? Not yet. I will. Yeah. Cavalcanti's got to work on her ground game too. Like, that's why I wanted to see her fight some grapplers. Like, I think Yana's going to be a fighter that actually tries to grapple Cavalcanti. Like, if she gets outstruck, I think that's what's going to force her to grapple. But yeah, I've said that before, but here I've talked about Jacqueline Cavalcanti. She's got great striking, but I want to see her fight some grapplers, man. She's got to fight some grapplers here, because when she gets up there against the bigger girls, fighters like, if she runs into a Pena, even a Rocky, if she runs into any of them girls, Norma Dumont, she's going to have to learn how to control them. Yeah, but let me see, countdown. Yeah, countdown for 315. I'm going to look at it. I got to remember to watch that tonight. Yeah, it's going down. All right. But anyways, let's see. I finished a little early, man, because I was just wanting to jump on and talk about these fights. But let me see. What do we got? Who else is on this card anyways? They got Andrade and Jasmine. They're on the prelims. Okay. Jose Aldo. Yeah, okay. Brad Katona. He kicks off the pay-per-view card. No. He's on the prelims. Jose Aldo kicks off the prelims. So there's only 4 cards. There was only 4 fights on the pay-per-view card. That's strange. Hold on. Let me see how they got this thing listed. Oh, no. Saint Denis. Yeah, Saint Denis kicks off the pay-per-view card with Alvarez. Saint Denis, Alvarez. Yeah, then Grasso. Oh, yeah, they switched the order. Grasso, Silva, and then Jose Aldo. So they're going to put Jose Aldo third to the co-main event now. Grasso and Silva were originally third to the co-main event. All right. Gary said, hopefully Jasmine destroys Andrade. I think she might. I know a lot of people now are kind of thinking this might be like Dern. I don't know. I don't think Dern's going to fight. I mean, I don't think Jasmine's going to fight like Dern, man. Like, yeah, Jasmine's last couple of outings, man, she looked pretty good. She was using her length, fighting on the outside, and she really wasn't taking as many punches, And I think her team has really been getting her prepared for this type of fight. I think she'll fight her like Aaron did, maybe a little bit cleaner now that she has more to go off of. And probably finish her on the ground. Might finish her with ground and pound. I think Jasmine will probably finish her with like some heavy elbows and ground and pound. Referee kind of step in and stop it. Paul said, "Have you guys noticed UFC fans being mad about this card? Wait, have you guys noticed UFC fans being mad about this card? People are hating on it because there's 3 women fights and 2 in the main. I haven't heard too much about that, but hey, they can't be mad because they're outperforming some of the guys, man. Like last few weeks, last few months, man, we've been getting a lot of finishes there. So I can't, they can't be mad. Alvarez declared forfeit. We don't know yet if BSD would get a replacement. Yeah, Closum says Saint Denis fight with. Oh man, it did. I didn't even know. See that's why, Paul. That's why they can't be mad at some of these women fighters, man. Because look, the men are canceling too. Look at this. He canceled because they still don't have it. They don't have it listed as a cancel fight over here. Well, this is Google, so they don't have it listed as a cancel because Gilbert Burns and Michael Morales, that fight canceled, but they still got the Saint Denis and Alvarez fight on. But see, yeah, like you can't get mad if there's women fights are on there too, because hey, you should be glad they showing up to fight. Right, Paul. This is a great fight. It's a co-main event. This is a champion. This is a championship fight. It's a title fight. And sometimes you can't be mad because Weili and Joanna turned out to be better than Izzy and Yoel Romero that night. Remember that, right? People are like, oh man, like this is a woman's fight. Well, if y'all remember that night, they put on the best fight of the whole card. Izzy and Yoel, they was good. They was in there sleeping, man. Izzy didn't even put on the clinic like he did against Paulo Costa. So it's like, they can't be mad at that. But let's see here. Let's see if they get him a replacement. I don't know who they could replace him with. Get in there last minute. Mike Malott, he's on the card. Okay, there's early prelims. Starts at 6:30. But yeah, this is a good card though. Oh, Burns Morales, they got moved to a main event for the next week. That's why UFC Fight Night. Who's on that card? Oh, Luana Pinheiro and Tisha Torres. They're the week after. Oh, okay. Yeah. Jazzy and Andrade should be fireworks. Yeah, it should be. I don't see Jasmine coming in there pushing though, man. Like I don't see Jasmine fighting crazy or bad. I don't see her fighting stupid in this fight. I don't see Jasmine fighting stupid in this type of fight. I think she will fight longer, taller, and smarter, and then eventually take Andrade down. Will Andrade make any changes? Like, will Andrade make any serious changes that can make us like just say, oh man, this is a new fighter? I haven't seen her do it yet. She tried in that Lauren Murphy fight. I mean, she was landing combinations in there. I don't know, man. Like, I just don't see her like getting Jasmine's respect like that. Jasmine's just like, Jasmine will take a punch. Jasmine, she will go in there and take a punch, but I don't see her taking multiple shots from Andrade at this point. I think from the last performance that she had, where she was staying on her back foot and jabbing more, you might see that more in this type of fight. Because I really think I think she really wants to get to that point where she wants to. She did say she wants to rematch Natalia Silva at some point. She wants that, but I think she's going to call for the winner of Aaron and Macy, which is at the end of the month. Because at this pace that she's moving, she's been fighting a lot more than some of the people that beat her. Well, not Natalia Silva, but Tracy Cortez. Ain't that crazy? Tracy Cortez got a win over Jasmine, but now Jasmine surpassed her. Like Tracy Cortez, when was the last time she fought? Tracy says she's got fight news, but who is she fighting? Kareem Silva, y'all think? Casey O'Neill? Let me see. Hold on. Tracy Cortez hasn't fought since July of last year. That was 10 months ago. Yeah, about 10 months since she hasn't fought. Her last victory was almost 2 years ago, which is Jasmine. Supposed to fight Miranda. That got canceled. She did beat Melissa Gatto, and that was about 3 years ago. Wow, 3 years ago. And she used to have some. She used to have active, little seasons. She would be fighting where she just go in there, won the Contender Series. She was getting the calls before, but now, because let's see, she won her first fight, 5 fights in the UFC. You're kind of all over the place though, because I think, did she ever fight at bantamweight? No, I don't think she did. Oh man, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with her. But yeah, Jasmine. Hey, she's passing her. She's got like 4 in a row. Casey O'Neill versus Gatto. Yeah, that would be a good fight. But where is she at? Where's Melissa Gatto? Casey O'Neill, Melissa Gatto. That's a good fight. I just feel bad for Melissa Gatto because the last time somebody walked out of the fight on her, that Dudakova chick. Gary said Jasmine only takes shots if she can't grapple. Yeah. And she, she's gotten better too now, so I don't really see her taking too many shots. Paul said, yeah, I think Jazzy wants the Tracy rematch more than anything from the way she talks. That's the one that bothers her. Yeah. To me, if that's how she feels, I think she could let that one pass because she seems to be doing better anyway. She seems to be doing well. Right. I think the rematch that she should want is Natalia Silva, though, right? Try to get the girl that's higher than you, that's been passing you, Don't worry about Tracy. Tracy's down there now. And to me, taking a step to fight back Tracy now really wouldn't make sense, right? Maybe it's something about the fight actually bothers her. Maybe it's something about the actual energy in that fight, probably. But to me, I think the only rematch that would make sense is in Natalia Silva at some point in her career. Because once she gets to, let's say if she gets to this point, she gets to like top 5 or 6, the next fight she should want, or 6 or 7, excuse me, I think she should want this winner of Aaron and Macy next. Or Grasso Silva, whatever she wants, She can call for either winner of that fight if she wants, or the loser. I don't know. 2B said fight week is here. Yep. Fight week is here. It is here. We're going to be talking about it this week. I'll try to get on as much as possible to talk about some things. Some people say, hey, I ain't heard about this fight or this fight. Well, I guess it's been our job online to promote it. And some people want to talk about it. So, okay, I'll give y'all a place where somebody's talking about it. Y'all can talk about it in the chat or whatever. But it is going down. Let me see. Tomorrow. Well, I've already done the round by rounds for the fights up here. I've already done the Valentina versus Manon round. No, I did the Valentina versus Joanna round by round. Who else did I do? Natalia Silva and Arujo. So yeah, I already did both round by rounds. And yeah, what I'm taking away from Natalia Silva, she's got to be in there moving like she usually is, and she's got to be lining up good leg kicks, good body kicks against Grasso. Stay away from the cage. And yeah, she just really needs to stick to combinations and keeping Grasso looking for it, keep her back off the cage. I think For Grasso, she just needs to use her timing, time that speed, start using the jab on the chest and in the head until eventually she can, try to clinch wrestle um, Natalia Silva. But, Natalia Silva, she knows how to neutralize and just kind of wait it out on the cage. So, going to be a good fight. Going to be a good fight. To be said, I got Valentina and Natalia Silva. Got to go in Natalia Silva, right? That's he's promoting Natalia Silva, boy. Natalia Silva, I'm telling you, man. Grasso low key. She been kind of low key this camp though. Let me see. Where is this countdown? Because I might watch this after I jump off of here. UFC 315 countdown. Oh yeah, so it's like 47 minutes. Oh, that's the whole thing. Yeah, that's the whole thing together. I'm gonna watch the Valentina and Manon part, which is 20 minutes, but I'll probably go back and watch the whole thing because they just put out the whole thing a little while ago, but they broke it up into segments too. So I'm gonna probably sit back and watch this. Paul said, can anyone confirm what happened to Alexa's leg and which leg it was? I can't remember which leg it was. I had a picture of it where she was in the mirror with the leg. Hold on. Because if it's that lead leg, man, she going to be in some trouble. It was the right one. It was the right leg. Right leg. Yep. It was the right leg. The right ankle. She usually switches stances. Not very often. She mostly did that. I remember just mostly in the Grasso fight. The Valentina fight, excuse me. Yeah, let me see. She put the picture up. Yeah. I had it up, but yeah, I'm looking at it now on Instagram. Yeah. She's looking in the mirror. So yeah, it's her right leg, which would be her front foot if she's fighting southpaw. So I don't know if she will be southpaw too much in this fight. Gary said Jasmine's striking might have improved since Natalia, but it's important to note Jasmine hasn't fought a striker with takedown defense on Silva's level since. No, she hasn't. Going into the going into the Andrade fight, yeah, that's not really going to help. Well, it's not going to be a big test, so I think that's definitely not going to be a problem in that fight. But yeah, moving forward, yeah. Yeah, oh man. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, that leg. Hopefully it is healed up because yeah, that was back in November. But she's been on it since then. All right. Well, I'm about to get off of here, y'all. And yeah, had a decent fight week. So from here, it is nothing but 315. We're gonna be talking some 315 later on this week. When I get a chance, if I get some downtime, I'll jump on another live. Probably Tuesday. I do a little live Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. And yeah, anybody want to give their thoughts, to be open again. If they have any thoughts on these coming fights. I know, Axel, you had a lot of input on watching Manon's training and so on. So I'll open that up maybe Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see, because yeah, we are only a few days away. Am I going to be on the call to fight next Saturday? We'll see. It all depends on how some things work out. So we'll see, because I definitely want to be on for that card. Definitely want to be on for 315. On that note, y'all hit that like button, subscribe. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And I am out. Peace.